The Disney Parks Podcast is now on Stitcher, radio on demand. You can listen to us on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle Fire, and other devices using the Stitcher application. Find it free on your App Store or at Stitcher.com. Now on Stitcher, radio on demand. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Disney Parks Podcast show number 0037 for the week of February 27th, 2013. We'd like to welcome you to the show. My name is Parkhopper John, and I come to you from the www.parkhoppers.com website. Joining me, as always, is the lovely and talented Mr. Tony Casanova from DisneyByTheNumbers.com.
I'm thumping. That's why they call me Thumper.
All right, we didn't have anybody answer the last week's quote. We got to get better on these quotes, guys. This one should be pretty obvious. So if you know the answer to this question, definitely want to leave us the answer at questions at DisneyParksPodcast.com, or you can call us at the Disney Parks Podcast hotline, which is 407-476-8898, and you can always leave us a comment in the section below this podcast if you're following us at DisneyParksPodcast.com. As always, we want to encourage you guys, if you're not listening to us on Stitcher, we want to make sure that you subscribe to us on iTunes, rate us, and review us. And it's always great hearing from you guys, so make sure that you hook up with us there. It's kind of been a crazy week in the Casa Donahue household, so the lovely and talented Miss Parkhopper Sid will not be joining us this week, but we will certainly rectify that next week. So what do you say, kids? You want to go ahead and get into the news?
Let's do it.
All right.
We're the original boy band with songs we never see. Everybody, yeah, yeah, rock your body, yeah, yeah. Everybody, rock your body, right, so right. Dapper dance, alright. Here is a tune to you.
Well, what you hear in the background is not the sound of Walt Disney rolling over in his grave. It is the sound of the Dapper Dans performing boy band hits at Disney Parks for limited time magic. The Dapper Dans will be performing and delivering a melody of hits from One Direction, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC all week for limited time magic. And while we won't give away all of the surprise tunes, we can tell you that you'll never know when the quartet will break into an all-new medley that will have everybody sing What Makes You Beautiful before they say bye, bye, bye. I apologize.
Wrong.
The musical time warp is happening, even if we like it or not. It is happening as part of the limited time magic, February 25th through March 3rd at both Disneyland Park in California and Magic Kingdom here in Florida. We would love to know what you guys think about it. We're getting ready to unload on this. But at the time of this recording, Tony has not, by choice, heard any of these. Unfortunately, for my ears and the memory of my beloved Dapper Dans, I did watch a couple of videos. On the outside of this, I thought it was a great concept. I think it was a great concept that should have been struck down.
This goes in the same category of rapper Mickey. Seeing Mickey like break dance is just that's not right. It's not right. I even don't like the shirt they have all over the place of the I don't know what it says, like yo whatever. Like Mickey's not a rapper. Mickey's a Mickey. He's a beloved worldwide famous character. He's Mickey Mouse. He's not a rapper.
Right.
You know.
I think that this was a great idea. Maybe one of the guys on the Dapper Dan said, hey, why don't we do this just for kicks and grins? And somebody should have thumped them soundly upon the head and said no. Yeah. This, to me, is tantamount to having the Voices of Liberty come out and do Jay-Z. I just can't.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. I just can't. I can't deal with this. Yeah. It's you know, I love Disney. Tony loves Disney. Yeah. I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you love Disney. And it's not that we're anti-new stuff, because we talk about new stuff here all the time that we love. This is just wrong. I'm sorry. Main Street USA was meant to be a specific time period to a specific time period, and this is just awkward.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know if it's the songs or the band. If they sung something else like I don't know, Barry Manilow, maybe I wouldn't have been so offensive or hard on my ears. But for them to be singing One Direction, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra, I could understand. Barry Manilow, easy listening. I would totally say go for a Dapper Dance, but this stuff is just it doesn't work for me.
Well, the thing that gets me is the lyrics, the lyric content. Everybody wants my body, rock your body right. I don't get into it. If you agree or disagree, we would love to know what you guys think. I mean, some people out there probably think it's a great thing, and the Dapper Dans are dated. And, I think Tony and I, not speaking for Tony, but probably speaking on his behalf, you're okay to be wrong. Yeah. And, it's just not good. Yeah. It's just not good. Right?
Yeah. So tell us what you think, because I'm interested to see, what other people think of this.
So far, though,
I'm sure if you Google this too, Dapper Dans, or we'll have a link or something in our show notes.
Yeah.
Too.
We'll have one of the videos in the show notes, and really the day that we recorded this, Disneyland released a video of the Disneyland version, and it's not so much that the songs are bad, it's just they're not as good as our Dapper Dans. Yeah. They're just not, and you would think that because they're in California, there's so much talent out there. It's just not that great. Yeah. Love to know what you guys think. Yeah. But this is just so. Well, let me ask you a question. We're 2 months in to the year, which I can't believe we're already looking at March.
Right.
And we've already had a few of these limited time magic events. What do you think so far? Are they hitting it out of the park, or are they just grounding to second?
For me, it's it's more like a bunt to third.
Ooh.
This is just the Lost Friends, I think, was probably the most popular thing they've done so far. The Valentine's Day week stuff, I think, was great if you were a couple or you were dating or whatever. I'm sure that went over well for you. The Dapper Dam thing is just really a dud for me. Yeah. I don't know. And I know Disneyland, California, has had more stuff than us. Right. If you go to the limited time magic page and you look at the things that they've had and the things that we've had, it's like we have 3 and they have like 6 or 7 or whatever. So they've had a better shot at some good stuff.
Yeah. It's that whole redheaded stepchild thing.
Yeah.
Disney World is just
they're closer to the corporate magic.
That's true. So. That's true. Well, we
have blessing of size. They have blessing of distance to the corporate headquarters.
That's right. Bob can drop in from time to time and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Apparently, dropped in the Academy Awards on Sunday too. I saw him.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Academy Awards.
Yeah, he was there.
Good. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Checking on all his assets.
That's right. I did see that. I was very excited to hear that Brave won and Paperman won.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Wreck-It Ralph win, though.
Well, you can't have Wreck-It Ralph and Brave win. Only one can win, my dear friend.
I know. I'm happy.
I take that back. They did have a tie this year for one category, so I guess you could have had a tie.
That would have been fine. I would have been cool with that.
Yeah.
So we did have some other good news coming to Walt Disney World. Victoria and Albert's was nominated for 2 prestigious James Beard Awards for 2013, showcased on Emerald, Florida. At the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, you'll find Victoria and Albert's, and it's making headlines this week with the nomination in 2 categories for a James Beard Foundation Award and an upcoming feature on Emerald, Florida, Emerald Lagasse's new show on the Cooking Channel. Finalists will be announced on March 18th, determined by a panel of more than 600 judges from across the country. Wouldn't you want that gig?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go across the country and eat different places.
Yep.
Yeah, and not cheap places, because Victoria and Albert's is nowhere close to Casey's. I mean, come on.
Yeah, these are 5-diamond, 5-star Michelin star restaurants.
Absolutely. Winners will be announced on May 6th at an awards ceremony held in New York's Lincoln Center. In the meantime, you can watch for Chef Scott on Emerald, Florida, the new Florida-based television show on the Cooking Channel. The segment airs at 10:30 a.m. on March 10th and will be repeated several times and features Emerald and Chef Scott in the beautiful Queen Victoria room at Victoria and Albert's.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten at Victoria and Albert's, my friend?
I have not. It is on my bucket list. It's the only restaurant in the Magic Kingdom hotel resorts that I have not eaten in. Had dinner in? Experienced a meal in?
It's cold medicine, kids. It's all cold medicine.
So it's on my bucket list. I'd love to go there. There's two things that's holding me back. One is the price. It's a little pricey. And number two is I really don't want to put on a suit jacket to go have dinner.
Right.
True
Floridian, my friend.
Yeah. But hey, I have to say this show, Emerald, Florida, is a good show. If you haven't, if you're Floridian, you have to watch it because he's really highlighting some fantastic restaurants. He even did Celebration Tavern.
Get out!
Like, I kid you not.
Well, it's interesting that he would spend so much time at Disney, and his restaurant is over at Universal.
Yeah, and he hasn't spoken anything about that restaurant.
Yeah. At the park that shall not be named.
Yeah, the park that shall not be named. But yeah, it's a very good show. So, if you are a Floridian or want to know about restaurants in Florida, this is a great show.
All right, have to check it.
Yeah. So, okay, kids, we're off to Neverland in innovations at Disneyland Park. Now, I have to say this right off the top. I was like, what? I get that. I thought it was an actual room I could stay in. And I was like, oh, no. It's just a show thing they've got shows. But anyway, here's the story. So at Disneyland Resort, you can now board a pirate ship and fly through Neverland on Peter Pan's flight in Fantasyland. You could also experience the magic of Peter Pan inside the younger son's room at the Innovations Dream Home in Tomorrowland. So the bed is shaped like a pirate ship. There's a cannon attached. It shoots virtual cannonballs through the virtual clouds, just like the cannon on Captain Hook's ship. The sail also shows clips from Peter Pan, and keep your eyes open because you may even spot Tinkerbell. Come see this magical room for yourself and celebrate the 60 years of Peter Pan.
That's right.
So
60th anniversary. Can you believe that movie is 60 years old?
I cannot believe it's 60 years old. But when I saw the picture of this room, I was like, oh my God, I want to stay in that room. Oh, wait.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I said it would be fantastic if they did this. If they put a room like this in some different resorts. I think your kids would definitely stay in there. Shoot virtual cannonballs from your bed. Come on.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's still weird to me, and I'm so new with the Disneyland thing, and for those of you who are listening who are Disneyland aficionados, please forgive me. It's still weird to me to see Innovations and Disneyland in the same sentence.
Yeah, that is weird.
You know, even when I was at the park and I saw Innovations, like, what?
Am I in Epcot?
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm at Epcot. I think this would be really cool. I think this would definitely be something that they could retool some of the different rooms here in the hotels. Yeah. You know, kind of like they did with the Princess. Well, they got the Princess and the Pirate rooms. Right. Where over at
Caribbean.
What is it? The Caribbean Beach Club Resort. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is awesome. I love being teased with what could be. Right. But I think this is one of those. Did they say how long this was going to actually be there?
They did not. I assume for a while.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to see it when we go out for D23.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to find out how much a themed room costs Disney over, say, a regular room. Does it cost more for them to, keep and maintain a themed room than it does a regular room? And why don't they do more of these theme rooms? Because I'm sure the kids with or families would love to stay in these themed rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, that'd be cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, now comes a part of the show where we're going to really dig into some real meat and potatoes.
This is going to get interesting.
Yeah. two really big pieces of news came out in Disney news this week, and we're going to really kind of dig into them. The first one is there is a major facelift plan for the downtown Disney area, and I hope this comes to pass.
Mm-hmm.
I got all excited a couple years ago at D23 when they released the whole Hyperion Wharf thing.
Right.
When that didn't pan out, and so the project has been dubbed the BVD Corridor Stormwater Project, and phase one of the plans were filed with the South Florida Water Management District, we call SwiftMud, this week. Phase one simply consists of the necessary groundwater infrastructure changes to the facility that expands at downtown Disney. So, to quote the letter filed with the plans, the BVD Coordinator Stormwater Project allows the master planning of an existing 269.11 acres mixed for use parcel. The next phase of the plans is where it really starts getting interesting. The downtown Disney area as a whole, stay with me, kids, as a whole will be rebranded into Disney Springs, which encompasses 6 district neighborhoods. One distinct: the Gateway, the Town Center, the Springs, the Landing, the West Side, and the Village Marketplace. Each neighborhood will have its own distinct look and feel, and we're going to kind of talk about them in a little bit. So let's kind of stop there and let that soak in for just a second.
I think I've heard one of these names before. We used to call the Village Marketplace. When it only was the Village Marketplace.
Right.
So we're kind of going back to the Village Marketplace name again.
And we currently have a West Side.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to have to change all that much.
Right.
And I'm sure that the Village Marketplace is not going to change all that much.
Yeah. So when you board a bus, you'll say, "Hey, are you going to Disney Springs?"
Right. Right.
Now, did they name it Disney Springs because it's close to Saratoga Springs?
I'm sure. There's all sorts of tie-ins
there. That was my thinking there, too.
So let's kind of do a visual. Go with me, boys and girls. If you've been to downtown Disney here.
In your mind. Go with John.
In your mind. Go with me in your mind. At Walt Disney World. The main Walt Disney store and the encompassing area is the marketplace. So that's going to be the Disney Village Marketplace. And right about, I think, right up to the Lego store. Mm-hmm. From there all the way over to
Art of Disney.
Art of Disney.
Yep.
That's going to be the Village Marketplace.
Correct.
Okay. So you've got Lego store from the Lego store all the way over to Rainforest Cafe and the Art of Disney store. So that's going to be the marketplace. And then let's talk about some of these other places. The Gateway, as you probably can guess, is going to be the main access point into Disney Springs, which I like to see how they're going to pull this trick off.
Yeah.
Its main goal is to improve the current parking woes that downtown Disney is notorious for. And it's going to help alleviate the traffic nightmare that faces crowds during peak season. The biggest addition to the Gateway will be a 5-level parking garage that will sit where parking lots C and D currently are. So parking lots A through H will be removed to support the necessary infrastructure for the new garage, as well as new, larger bus drop-off and pickup areas.
Okay. I don't think a 5-level parking garage is enough. I really don't.
I agree.
They're taking away 2 big parking lots and putting up, a 5-level parking garage. I still don't think that's enough. I think all the way down at the west end where the buses are, there should be another 5-level parking garage.
Right.
But that's just me.
Right.
I like that they're putting in the parking garage, and we'll see if it helps the traffic problem. I think with this, it's just going to be more people are going to want to go there, and it'll just be a bigger nightmare for parking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I have to say, I took the bus the other night, Friday night, from the Contemporary to downtown Disney, and the Marketplace bus stop was closed again. Now, they just recently had a rehab on that, so I don't know if what we're talking about here is now starting to take place. Maybe they're going to get rid of that bus stop and get ready for this expansion, because that bus stop is once again closed. The only bus stop that's open now is Pleasure Island, so we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be dramatic, and the worst part about all this is not what it's going to be like when it's done. It's going to be while they're building it.
Yeah,
that's going to be the worst part. So that's the gateway. After the gateway, which for those of you who are kind of playing along at home, the gateway is roughly about in the dead center, where about, if I'm remembering the map correctly, is roughly where the was it Planet Hollywood is?
Yeah, it'll almost be like between guest relations and the World of Disney store. That'll be the gateway area, I think is what they're talking about.
Okay. All right. Oh, so I'm completely off then. I'm on the wrong side of the park.
No, you're close. You're close.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. So after the gateway, you'll encounter the town center, located on what will have been parking lots E and G. The town center will be a busy area featuring many new retail establishments. Following the town center, you'll arrive in the Springs, a peaceful, relaxing area along the waterway that runs between it and the former Pleasure Island. Now you're going to cross one of the brand new bridges and you'll end up in the Landing, full of dining and drinking options and offering the nice views of the village lake, where you can expect to see several new restaurants and retail locations, as well as a new amphitheater by the water's edge next to Paradiso 37.
Yep.
So are they moving the characters in flight? Because that's kind of where that's at right now, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Right.
Well, there is that small empty parcel there, but
Right.
I don't think it's big enough for an amphitheater without removing the balloon.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Continuing on, the west side and village marketplaces will remain virtually the same as their current state, with a few small additions. On the west side, the most notable changes include the Planet Hollywood being turned into something called the Observatory and losing its surrounding body of water, and a new Starbucks location replacing the current Wetzel's Pretzels. God, they're just killing me. I love Starbucks, but I really dig the Wetzel's Pretzels location.
Yeah.
And an overhead railway for thematic purposes only will also run above the main stretch of path from Disney Quest down to the new Starbucks. Meanwhile, over in the village marketplace, the former bus drop-off and pickup area will become home to 2 new retail buildings and a new bridge leading to Saratoga Springs that will be constructed.
Oh, that'll be interesting then.
It's going to dramatically change the look of the place. Now, do you think this is going to be well received when it's all finished, or do you think it's going to be very, Islands of Adventure-ish?
No, listen, if they do put in more restaurants and more Disney-themed retail, I'm not talking about, Wet Seal and, the other stuff that they have down there now. I think people are looking for more Disney-themed merch. If they do that and put in more restaurants, I think it will be a hit. Because, for 2 reasons. One is locals will support it on nights and weekends. And visiting people that are looking for a dining option outside the park will go there.
Right.
It's very hard to get an ADR or to walk up to any restaurant in a park now and say, can I have dinner? It's like almost impossible.
Right.
So if they have a place where they have more options, then I think that will relieve some of that dining pain that people are having.
I think if they bring some of the shopping options like they have at Downtown Disney and Disneyland, like the underground art and the trendy kind of place that they have, that's kind of a mix between trendy and what's the other place in the west side? It's got all the Vinymations.
The D Street.
Yeah, D Street. Yeah, they have kind of a mix of that.
Right.
In Downtown Disneyland.
Yep.
I think that'd be great. I think other shopping options would be fine too. I just would be worried that they would keep, selling the same crap in just another store. If they were to put something like maybe like a Company D store there that you can you stuff that you can't get anywhere else, or maybe they and no offense to the guys over at Theme Park Connection, maybe they opened up a retail space for some of the stuff that's park centric.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're thinking like Disney fans, and I'm fairly confident the higher brass and Walt Disney World management are probably not thinking like Disney fans. They're probably going to put whoever's going to spend the most money to pay for all this.
Yeah. Well, there is a Company D store at the Team Disney store, which is across the street from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. But it would be interesting if they had a store similar to that for some mere mortals to purchase things along those lines.
Yes.
Almost like a Mickey's of Glendale.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Get some Imagine Nerding stuff,
Imagine Nerding. That's what we need. We more Imagine Nerding stuff. So that's kind of what, is there anything else you want to add on that?
No, I'm, listen, I was excited for Hyperion Wharf. Now I'm excited for Disney Springs. Let's get the shovels out. Let's start making this thing happen.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a rough patch for a while, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely will be.
Yeah. We had this past weekend was the Princess Marathon or half marathon weekend, and I'm not 100% sure why they made the change. I'm sure that somebody out there can drop us a line, but normally they have like the expo and where you pick up all the packets and everything at ESPN, and you go to ESPN and you go into the big. Jostens Arena, Jolston's.
The Milk House, I think.
Jostin Center. No, not the Milk House.
Oh, not the Milk House.
Jostin Center or Jostin Center. I don't want to say the Joel Osteen Center because that's out in Houston. But the big, huge, multi-purpose arena that they have. And then you go pick up, your race bib and your shirts and everything, and then they have the expo there. Well, this year they didn't do that. Everybody had to park at Downtown Disney and hop on a bus and drive to Coronado Springs.
What?
Go into their big conference area, get all the stuff, where they had twice as much space for the packet pickup than they had for the actual expo. So you were literally, you were stacked up like cordwood the whole time. And then when you got done, you had to wait in line to get on a bus going back to Downtown Disney.
Wow.
My fear is it's going to be like that. It's going to be just chaos there. And, I'm a big fan of any construction. I hope they do it in phases in such a way that doesn't completely disrupt it. But, as Disney keeps pushing to get more and more people to the parks, they have to have places to go, when the parks are full. And Downtown Disney is always the place everybody goes. And it's already a parking nightmare.
Yeah.
So.
I think the other thing I'm not looking really forward to seeing is the one going to one bus stop, one centralized, larger bus stop. I don't think that's just a pain in the neck. I like that they have two now. If I want to go to the marketplace area, get off there. If I want to go to, Pleasure Island, what's left of Pleasure Island, I go to that bus stop.
Right. Right.
I liked it when they even had three, and that they used to go to the west side. There used to be a bus stop for the west side too. But,
well, that's what they were using for the Coronado Springs thing, was a west side bus stop.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody used it. Nobody's using it for Disney stuff.
Yeah, so.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that, John. That's interesting. Was there an event going on?
I don't know.
The cheerleading competition, was that also this weekend? Or was
it was on ESPN. I don't know if it was live, but it was that. And then we were out eating off property, and some girl softball players came in from Wisconsin. So like half the team was in the same restaurant we were in. So I'm pretty sure that they were having a huge softball conference. But we've been there before when the Braves were playing and they were doing a soccer tournament, and they still had the expo. I don't know why they would close it unless it was the cheerleading thing, and then the Milk Center was being used.
Right.
And that's their overflow center. So. But we got in, we got out. Wasn't a problem. It was a good weekend. Disney had to delay packet pickup because of the weather was so bad. People were coming in late, so they delayed. They put packet pickup on the same day as the race, which very rarely happens. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Run Disney had to scramble a lot this weekend, but it was good. They did a great job.
Yeah. It's always interesting to see because I was driving around. Oh, I should mention on Friday, I saw the new gray bus
Did you? I passed it 7 times.
Did you really? It looks good. It looks good in person.
Okay, now we talked about this, and I saw comments online. People were complaining about there not being Mickeys on the new gray bus. Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but after I made mention of it to my lovely wife, Parkhopper said, we started looking at all the Disney transportation buses,
Right.
and outside of the Magical Express buses and the Disney cruise line buses, if you were to take away the advertising for the Disney Vacation Club, none
Yeah, no. It just says Disney Transport.
have a Mickey on it.
Yeah,
So if you think that the new gray bus sucks because there's no Mickey on it,
Right.
there's no Mickey on any of the buses except for the Disney Vacation Club ad. So gotta recognize.
There's no Mickey on the monorail or
No,
boats. So,
the only Mickey on a boat is the safety sticker.
yeah, exactly.
You know. So all that being said, I did see the gray bus. I thought it was nice. You know,
Yeah.
it was great. It looked pretty and new.
Yeah.
No scratches. They hadn't hit anything yet.
Well, I saw it. It's funny you mentioned that. Where I saw it was at the Magic Kingdom. You know, at that goofy place where, you know, you're trying to go to the Contemporary and the road crosses over the other one. Well, there was an accident there.
Was a bus involved?
Somebody T-boned somebody else. But the gray bus was then, you know, the next thing in line. I was like, oh, thank God it wasn't the new bus. And that did the T-boning. Because, you know, it would have been on, you know, every television station in Florida.
Yeah. To catch
Brand new
everybody
bus
up.
T-bones car.
That's right. To catch everybody up why we're laughing at so hard. About a year or so ago, for a while there, it was like every other week a Disney bus was doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Ran over a kid, ran over a bike, ran over a kid on a bike, ran over a car.
Yeah.
Just nobody was really seriously hurt. It was just...
Yeah. It's just like,
You know.
who the hell's driving these buses?
Yeah, we don't pull out in front of Disney buses. We let them go.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
do too.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they
just-
can't see everything, you know. I wouldn't want to be a bus driver on property. I really wouldn't.
And they're not doing any narration anymore. They're just driving a bus.
Yeah.
They're not doing in the, hey, everybody, we're going over to California Resort. And
Maybe
blah,
they're
blah, blah.
concentrating too much on the driving.
That's right. We need to give them more stuff to do.
You know, I think they now. I think the GPS does all the recordings now based on
Yep.
the location. So
Yeah. And here's the thing. Have you noticed with it when you ride the monorail, it talks about you're now passing Bay Lake Tower,
and
you
it's
still
like,
have
you know,
left
we just left
at
the turn. We just left the Magic Kingdom. I'm like,
Right.
how can
I'm
we-
not the only one then.
That is way off. That GPS on that is way. I don't know if that one's GPS based or if it's just. I don't know what that one is based on, but it's not correct.
It's wrong is what it's based.
Yeah.
It's probably done by the same guy who did the whole Dapper Dan singing Backstreet Boys stuff. All right,
It's
we're
like you
down
pull
the
out and you
rabbit
go,
trail.
you're now passing Bay Lake Tower. I can't even see it.
I'm in front of the Grand Floridian. What
Yeah.
the heck?
Yeah, what the hell?
So now that I'm pulling us back on track,
Yeah.
that's the first story.
Yeah.
We would love to know your opinion of the new facelift that's being planned for Downtown Disney. So you can always leave us a comment in the section below the podcast on the DisneyParksPodcast.com website. You can always send us an email at questions@DisneyParksPodcast.com. And we would love for you to call the Disney Parks Podcast hotline, which is 407-476-8898, because we would love to know what you think of the new planned facelift down at Downtown Disney. And all of you locals, how crazy it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So-
everybody's going to be parking somewhere else and taking a bus over. Or
Yeah, I'm going to be parking
watercraft.
at a resort and taking a bus or a boat, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, so this one is interesting. Disney submitted a patent for an Omni-Mover boat ride. Omni-Mover boat ride. Now, how do you get on a boat that's moving? That's going to be the interesting thing here. So, this was actually, we'll put up these numbers, but we have the patent application number and the patent grant number, and we'll even link to the Google easy read version of this patent. But the interesting thing on this too, as I was reading this, was it took them almost 2 years to get the patent for this. They applied like in June and didn't get it until now.
Right.
They applied in June of 2011, and they just granted the patent in February of 2013. So it took them 2 years to get the patent. So this is the short version of this story is it's a floating omni-mover ride with high capacity throughput and enhanced control over speeds of the passenger boats.
Now, what he's talking about is imagine a boat version of the dune buggies from the Haunted Mansion.
Exactly, yeah.
That's an omni-mover ride with high capacity throughput.
Right.
So for the technical nerds out there, you knew what I was talking about. For the drummers like me out there, it's boat versions of the dune buggy.
Yep. It's something that doesn't ever stop.
Right.
Until they hit the 101 button. So the ride includes a water containment structure with space. Now listen, we're going to get technical here, so just listen along and try and put this in your head. The ride will include a water containment structure with spaced apart sidewalls defining an oblong guide channel that defines a loop-shaped ride path or circuit. Then the ride will include a volume of liquid. And I love the way they say volume of liquid. It's going to be water, probably. Unless they come up with flubber. You know. I mean, what else are they going to put in it? So the ride will include a volume of liquid contained in the guide channel to a desired depth. And then the ride also includes a chain of passenger boats floating in the liquid contained in the guide channel. Each of the boats will then be linked to the two adjacent boats with connecting links such as a chain of boats in a continuous loop. The chain of boats has a length, and that is approximately equal to the length of the ride path during the operation of the ride. The boats in the chain are moved along the loop-shaped ride path at the predefined rate by a pump station moving the liquid in the guide channel.
All right, so kind of what this means is let me kind of break this down as I understand it. And Tony is much smarter than I am. So if you ride the Pirates of the Caribbean, you are on a boat, you are on a ride vehicle that is moved along the looping shaped path at a predefined rate by a pump station moving the water or liquid in the guide channel that the boat is in. The boat moves at the speed that the water is flowed through. If you've ever been on Pirates when the ride has broken down, I mean, when the ride has ceased to be, when the ride stopped, they have to shut the ride completely down before a cast member can get into the water to help you exit the boat.
Right.
If they turn the pump on, that cast member could be in serious jeopardy because that water moves at a pretty good clip to push those boats along. Now, what this thing is talking about is that omni-mover concept with a bunch of boats linked together being propelled by this water pump.
Right.
And I read somewhere. Okay, let me stop right there. That's. Am I close?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Now,
Think of like the Pirates of the Caribbean, where all the
Right.
boats were connected, and they just kept going around in a circle, and
Right.
you would never have to. It would never have to stop to load or stop to exit.
Right. You would get on a moving sidewalk and then step into the boat, and then you would go in. Now, I read somewhere that at one point this ride talks about that the boats aren't linked together, and they actually kind of float around within the prescribed channel, a la Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know if I read that.
I read that somewhere. I'm not sure if it's that might have been a rumor, but
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, they have a diagram of this patent and what it looks like.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting. But I was thinking, so let's take the Pirates of the Caribbean for instance in this example. If the platform was moving, could you get in there safely, or would the seats have to be higher? Kind of like a dune buggy height or Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger height.
Right.
Because those are fairly low. I mean, you normally step on the seat and then you step down to the thing to get into the Pirates of the Caribbean. Could you do that safely while the platform was moving?
Sure. I think that if you either raised up the boat or if you lowered the platform to where you could step into the boat.
Yeah.
And then they would, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Now, that's all the patents and all the information, all that stuff. Let's get to the part that I've been looking forward to. What ride are they going to put this on?
What ride are they applying this technology to?
Please, God, don't let it be a refurbishment of Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's let it be something new. Please.
I don't know. Are there any movies that came out recently?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
What about an Avatar ride? Or any of that? Is anything in that movie water-based?
I don't remember there being a lot of water-based stuff in Pirates in that.
Okay.
I do remember there being a lot of water in a certain Star Wars prequel.
Mm-hmm. Any Marvel stuff, maybe? I mean, they didn't say, this was Disney. This was, Disney applied for the patent. Could they use it for Marvel or Star Wars or Avatar or, I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm trying to think of something that they could do.
You got to remember, they applied for this patent 2 years ago. So what were they thinking about, 2 years ago that we haven't seen yet?
Right. I don't know. It's certainly not John Carter based.
Yeah, no. A Nemo ride? Finding Nemo?
Nemo wouldn't be bad. What about a revamp of
Peter Pan?
20,000 Leagues.
20,000 Leagues.
I just got done reading, and we probably, at some point, we probably need to talk about it in the podcast. I just got done reading John Carter and the Gods of Hollywood, which, if you haven't read this book, I haven't put my review up on Parkhoppers yet, but this book is amazing. I can't remember the gentleman's name who wrote it, but it's a chronicle of how they took this work from Edgar Rice Burroughs, John Carter. The book was originally, and the book's titled is The Princess of Mars, and it talks, it's the John Carter story.
Right.
And it went from how it was passed around from different studios to when Disney got it, to Andrew Stanton was attached to it, and $250 million to film it, another $100 million to promote it, and it was a bomb,
right.
Supposedly. But all that being said, the movie that they turned down because they did John Carter was 20,000 Leagues.
Wow.
And I could really see, if you were going to do like a chain of boats, maybe they're going to do a 20,000 Leagues thing based off of they have a Jules Verne ride in is it Tokyo Sea?
Mm-hmm.
Space Mountain in Paris is Jules Verne-esque.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that they could do. I would love to see a resurgence of 20,000 Leagues if the movie came out and it didn't suck.
Yeah, maybe it's not even going to be in a North America park. Maybe this is for Tokyo Sea.
That's another thing too to consider.
None of us have been to Tokyo Sea, so we can't speak on its behalf.
We need to go. I'm telling you, we need to do a road trip. So,
hey,
so
we could do a road trip in October. There's going to be another expo there in Tokyo.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a second. Disney announced that they're going to do a D23 event in Tokyo.
Who's going? Road trip.
Yeah. I'm kind of ticked about that, to be honest with you.
Mm.
They can't do a D23 event in, Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
But they can do one over in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Or, why? What? I
don't know.
Because their market base is so big out there, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of my deal. But yeah, we would love to know what ride you think. What ride would you like to see done with this?
You guys are way much smarter than we are.
Yeah, because you guys out there are way smarter than me. I guarantee it. But yeah, this is kind of exciting stuff. I love to see Disney at least looking forward.
Right.
And they haven't announced Cars Land yet. I'm still looking forward to James Cameron saying, I was just kidding, guys. I'm not doing anything in Disney.
Maybe April Fool's Day he'll come out and tell us. Joke's on us.
Here's hoping.
There's no Avatar Land. Sorry.
Yeah. Psych. So what do you guys think? Let us know. Leave us a comment. Send us an email. Call us on the hotline. We would love to know. Love to know what you guys
And I love that, the Disney community digs this stuff up. Somebody out there had the time to go digging around the U.S. Patent Office website, to dig this up. And I don't think Disney's name was tightly tied to this, because it was a person that actually filed it wasn't the Disney Corporation, it was a person's name.
Wow.
But the Disney community people, they're smart. And the same thing with the Hyperion Wharf Disney Springs information. That was also somebody else poking around the southern Florida management.
Yeah, SWIFMUD, Southwest Florida Water Management Division. I have a friend of mine that works out there, and it's called SWIFMUD.
Okay.
Well, there is a third option for this Omnimover boat ride thing that I don't really want to spend too much time thinking about. But the third option is they just filed a patent on it because they had a really great idea and they just want it patented, and it'll never become a ride.
Yeah, that's possible.
But I prefer to think that we're going to get a really cool new ride.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I want to go with that one.
Yeah, we'll go that way. This is one of my favorite parts of the show, when I get to find out some really cool things, some new info on rides and the theme parks and the resorts here at Disney, with the top 5 things that we did not know about Kilimanjaro safaris at Animal Kingdom. Take it away, Tony.
All right, thank you, John. Number 5. 2 miles is the complete Kilimanjaro safari route. Number 4. There are 44 ride units that exist at Kilimanjaro Safari. They are kept separated by a sophisticated computer and something called pucks buried in the roadway. Number 3. 18-foot depth and 25-foot wide moat separates the animal areas so they don't interfere with each other's.
Or kill the rider.
Kill the guests in the park. Yeah. Number 2. There is a 30-foot elevation that was created for the African savanna, and over 50 acres were used as well. So they created this elevation so that you can't see from one end of the safari really to the other, since it's kind of a looping thing. And the number one thing you did not know about Kilimanjaro safaris is 110 acres is the size of Kilimanjaro safaris at the Disney Animal Kingdom, and it's the largest single attraction ever created by Disney. In fact, the entire Magic Kingdom can fit inside this attraction. That is huge.
It's incredible to stop and think about.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, Magic Kingdom fits inside this attraction.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's my if I'm in the park, if I'm in the Disney Animal Kingdom park, this is on the list sometimes, depending on the line.
And how hot it is.
Yeah. That's true.
This is a really sophisticated ride. I mean, you wouldn't think so. When the Imagineers were trying to figure out how to do this ride, they knew they wanted to do a safari ride, but they ran into the same exact problem that those guys ran into in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
How do you make a lion stay in one spot so he can be seen in the middle of the Florida heat?
Yeah.
So one of the things that they did was they put cooling units at certain elevated areas so the lions and other animals can be kept in one spot because it's cool there for them.
Yeah.
So what lion would not want to have an air-conditioned spot?
Right.
Had to come to Disney to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is they have the pucks in the ground. They also have some other really cool, sophisticated computer technology because the whole time that the ride's going, the person driving the Safari Tour vehicle is triggering responses, and they're actually communicating with home base.
Yeah.
So you go on that search for the missing elephant, it's a really cool ride, and to see how they control it and how the animals are kept in. It took me a while to figure out how they were keeping the animals in.
Yeah. Have you ever?
I was nervous.
Yeah. I was on once, and an animal. I forgot what it was. It was a big. I think it was a rhino actually. Was in the path of our vehicle. And
nice.
That was it. We were at the mercy of this rhino moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know that ride vehicles were backing up because of this rhino sitting in the road there. And we just waited. You know, he's got no horn, he's got nothing. He's like, rhino, shoo. Well, you don't shoo a rhino. And I'll tell you, the funny part of the story is once we passed him, he started running after our vehicle. I'm like, uh-oh. Have I just become an appetizer for somebody today?
I'm glad I'm sitting in the front.
Yeah.
So the people in the back had great pictures.
Exactly. I was like, maybe I wanted that middle seat, not this window seat.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But it's a great attraction. Yeah. It's a great attraction. Yeah. So I'm glad you shared that with us, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you'd like these or other really amazing facts about any of the Disney parks or resorts, you definitely want to check out DisneyByTheNumbers.com and pick up the DBTN Disney by the Numbers app, which is available for iPhone, iPad, and iPod. You can pick that up at the iTunes store. And I ask this every week: when's it coming out for Android?
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Working on it?
I'm working on it. I got to get somebody to code it.
All right. So anybody out there that wants to code this really cool app for an Android?
Yeah, if you know somebody that knows some coding.
All right. The Disney Parks Podcast is now on Stitcher, radio on demand. You can listen to us on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle Fire, and other devices using the Stitcher application. Find it free on your App Store or at Stitcher.com. Now on Stitcher, radio on demand. Well, my name is Parkhopper John, and I want to encourage you guys to come on over to www.parkhoppers.com, and we have a great newsletter that we want to encourage you all to sign up for because of premier scavenger hunts. So visit us at www.parkhoppers.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, at Google+, and Pinterest at www.parkhoppers.
I'm Tony Casanova. You can find me at DisneyByTheNumbers.com, and on the website there you can find all the facts and stats about Disney and the Disney Company, the parks. Sign up for our newsletter. Go check out our photos, our videos. Also, we have an iPhone app which you can find in the iTunes store. It is www.dbtnfacts. I suggest that you download one. You can also find us at Twitter at DBTN. Find us at Facebook page /DBTN page, or there's a Facebook group. You can also find us on Google Plus and Pinterest. And we'll see you in the park.